Peace. That's it. I'm gone. Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka Big Sarge, large and uncharged, and my one and only self, taking myself up off the shelf, hoping and looking to find and discover my greatest internal wealth for myself. Hopefully, you doing the same thing for you. Y'all know what it is. You know what we do. It's speak grunt. Grunt speak, speak grunt. When we come through, we speak to you, and we hope you come on and kick it too. I say we because usually it's me and Whiskey Charlie, but today it looked like it may just be me. But interestingly enough, I don't think we're going to continue this whole entire thing because I think we might need to do a postponing because I really would like for Whiskey Charlie to be a part of this thing, you see. But I was going to do it on my own, just me. But then he reached out to me on the Facebook Messenger and said, oh, man, I might be a little bit late. It's my anniversary day. I'm like, Whiskey Charlie, go ahead and spend your anniversary day with your babe. What made you think we was going to get there in time anyway? But you know how we do. Infantry, true blue. We're trying to get everything done. Maybe that's just me, not you. I don't know. But so until I hear from Whiskey Charlie, you just going to get to talk to me for a minute or two. And then we're going to see if Whiskey Charlie have an opportunity to come through. But if not, I'm just going to give you a brief idea of what we're talking about today. And then I'm probably going to fall back, go away. And we're going to come back and do the rest of this thing next week. Excuse me, because I'm updating something on my phone to make sure that it's showing. For some strange reason, I can't find a thing. But okay. What are we talking about today? I want to talk about structure in some way. Whiskey Charlie reached out to me and he sent me this thing. And I asked him, hey, are we speaking this week? And he said, sure, Big Sarge, I'd love to speak. And I said, well, what's the next topic that you have for me? What idea are you thinking? Because lately Whiskey Charlie been sending things to me. And he said structure. I said, ooh, sweet. Structure. That should be pretty cool too. We'll see. And so here we go. Excuse me. I want the actual. Mm-hmm. I know y'all like, wait, you just going quiet, you just disappearing. I'm actually uploading something on Facebook. So excuse me, I'm actually taking a look to see if this thing is actually streaming because I'm unable to find a thing. But anyhow, I'm going to continue. So he talked to me about structure. And again, this is a perfect example of improper structure today because I don't have all my technology set up the right way. I don't have all my technology set up the right way in order for us to be successful while we streaming. And that's clearly what you able to see because I'm on here looking for me to see if I can find myself. Invalid URL parameter. Sorry. What? See, I'm just running into all sorts of things. Now it's telling me it can't find me on YouTube today. Can't find me on Facebook. Can't find me in any place. That's what happens when you have no structure the right way. And that's why the show has been inconsistent. See, I take that heat round. I can't put that on nobody else but me, aka Big Sarge. How does your structure look like for you? Perfect example, Whiskey Charlie. I thank you. And man, I felt it in my spirit too when Whiskey Charlie didn't respond to my text right away. I said it might just be me today. And then I thought about pulling out. And I'm like, what's the best that can happen if I just jump on for 5 or 10 minutes or so, and then we can come back next week and continue this thing. This is how you grow. You have to start to put some structure in place if you expect to get anywhere and stay there successfully. Oh man, this message was definitely for me because I do it off my talent, and I've been doing that thing so long, and it comes so naturally, so easily. But if you're not being pushed upon to do it consistently, then you can just flow in that thing, and your gift can be a hindrance for you. Come on, infantry, we know what I'm talking about. True Blue. Don't get complacent. You know that word too. Why was they saying that? They didn't want you to lose the structure that we needed to be successful in all the missions that we had did. Task, conditions, and standards. It's a structure. It's a certain way that we have to do things. Breaking contact, bounding Overwatch, traveling Overwatch, foul, wedge, echelon. All those things is based off structure so you can actually accomplish a mission successfully. And our life is the same thing. If you're not structuring your thinking, if you're not structuring the things that you do today, Grunt, how you expect to be successful? I'm just talking about me. I don't care if nobody watching this. Is just a conversation between me and the GOD, because Whiskey Charlie sent this structure to me. And I'm like, ooh, this for me. It clearly says structure when I had to go look up the definition. You know, we have a thought in our mind. We know what it is, and we sure we know. But I like to know I know. And it says the arrangement of and relationships between the parts or elements of something complex, being a noun. But then if you go down to where it's a verb, it says the quality of being organized, construct or arrange according to a plan, give a pattern or organization to. These things that I just said to you. Arrange your file. That comes with structure when you're moving through certain terrain where there's low visibility, a lot of trees, and so you need to move tightly and quickly. When you're moving in a wedge, when you're in open field, open terrain, you don't want to all be in a certain space. That comes with a structure. You're walking a certain way. When you're walking in a Overwatch, where you have a team or a squad traveling Overwatch a little bit ahead of the other one, that gives you a structure to drop into a 360 defensive fighting position. There's things that happen in our life to structure our life so we can do things right. And when we don't put plans in our life, when we don't have tasks, conditions, and standards to live our life a certain way, our structure is faulty. And so we fall by the wayside that day. Maybe that's just me. Man, Speed Grunt, we've been realistically for 5 years, but how come it's not more successful? How come more people don't see? Because the structure was missing. Yeah, this message was just for me, and I'm cool with that thing. This message was just for me. Because sometimes before you can feed anything to someone else, you have to feed it for yourself. Hadn't always been doing the right thing the way it needed to be done by honoring what God had given me something to do. As I get on here and I speak to individuals going through, man, I was talking to one of my buddies of mine who I deployed with some time ago. I've got multiple deployments, but I was having a conversation with him just about life, right? And during that conversation, he said to me, how did you feel about your team? How did you feel about your team and your squad, the people that, you deployed with, that was up under you, that you was up under too? How did you feel? I said, we are rock solid. I knew at any time we'd be able to do what we had to do. Like, wow, what about you? He like, exactly. I didn't feel the same way. The individuals I had, they didn't have any structure. They didn't know how to do their job, and they made me uncomfortable that day. Now, me and him had been talking for, we talked once, twice, three times a year. I had never heard him say that to me, but I could tell it was on his heart and it was something that was penetrating because I was talking about some business that he's doing. But he used that analogy to show me that there's no structure in the people that he's attempting to be trusting because they don't have no structure for their life. So it's difficult to help pull them into his business in order to do it right. Man, I hope I'm not missing what I'm saying today. Sometimes you got to put certain things away in order to lay a new path, a new direction, a new safe space, the new safe ground to step on to, if I could say it that way to you. Sometimes you have to tear out a structure to rebuild new structure. That's what the army do. Right? Basic training is basically to remove the things, the structure, the foundation that's been placed in you up until the point in time you join the army. I don't care if you're 17 or 32, 41 during the time of war. They're going to remove the training that you've had and they're going to give you the basic training and structure of the army in order to you to be able to conform and do the job that's required of you. That's exactly what they're going to do. And they got plenty of structure too. So I read the Google definition of you and I went and looked up structure in the Army. It says, in the context of the U.S. Army, structure refers to the hierarchical organization of units, from the smallest fire team to the largest field army. Along with the associated command and control system, this structure defines the roles, responsibilities, and relationships within the Army, enabling it to operate effectively as a fighting force. Again, structure. Whew. Hot, warm chocolate. In the context of the U.S. Army, structure refers to the hierarchical organization of units. So I asked the question on the Facebook page and simply said, how is your life structured today? How is our lives structured? So for my true blue brothers in the infantry, we know that the military, they do a lot of structuring from the time you got off the cattle truck to the time you got to, I believe, 30th AG. They had a bunch of things they needed you to say, where to place your feet, how to place your feet. But did any of that do transitioning to your life today? Because I'm learning each and every day, even with my spirituality. My pastor's been saying it to me. God was all about structuring that thing. Your talents can be off the hook, off the charts. Cool. Do what you do. But what I also understand the things about snipers, it's a structure. It ain't just about the shoot. Oh, come on, man. You got to show your work if you really want it to work consistently. Oh, come on, Big Sarge. What you saying to me? You got to work for that 300 APFT. Man, I remember another one of my guys, Specialist Blackerby. He used to be a cadet, someone who I was calling a sir one time, and then he was up under me. Because here's the thing, the Army changed the structure that was able to get him in at a time that they needed him, where they wanted him to be. But then when they didn't need him, they removed that protection and that structure for him. So he had to go down to just regular Joe, one of them, couldn't do the officer role. Oh man. Oh man. I think his name was Burberry. Anyhow, forgive me. What am I saying about B? That APFT, he used to max that thing. Like physique, structurally, figurative, like max that thing. But he had a routine. He always talked about working out in the gym. They're the things that he do. Again, structure, a plan. A plan. Mm, mm, mm. The arrangement of and relations between the parts or elements or something complex. The quality of being organized, constructed according to a plan. He planned to get a 300 on the APFT, so he knew there were some things that he had to be doing. Oh my God, I could just keep thinking of it. Another cat that was structured like that. When we got an opportunity to go for the EIB, it was only 2 out of the whole battalion, see? Because you had to work out on your own. That took structuring. You had to build your foxhole on your own. That took structuring. And now that you home, you have to structure your mind in a way that's going to get you through your everyday life. You got to put behind you what happened in Iraq. You got to put behind you what happened in Afghanistan. You got to create a new plan for the mission that you in today, and it's going to take you structuring it your way. You got to perform self-aid before buddy aid can get to you. Big Sarge, that's what I got to do. Oh, come on, man. I'm talking to you. I promise I'm talking to you. I promise I'm talking to you. Whiskey Charlie, I know he ain't going to be able to make it through. And I said we just going to talk about this for a little while because I want to keep it for next week for you. Do a little bit more digging in too. I'm probably going to be here another 5 or 6 minutes with you. But man, that structure is so powerful. That structure, it says, here's a breakdown of the key aspects of the Army structure. Look. From the smallest to the largest, from the least to the greatest. Like, think about this suit we in. Think about the equipment that we would put on. Like when you had to go to mop level, there was a structure. There was certain levels that you had to put on first. You had to have it ready. Then you had to put the pants on. Then you had to put the jacket on. Then you had to put the mask on. Then you had to put the boots on. Then you had to put the gloves on, if I ain't mistaken. Then you had to contaminate everything. Like decontaminate. It was a structure in the organization because they believe that if you went out of step, then it could cost you your life. Ooh. If you keep going out of step, it could cost you your life. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what I said. So here's a breakdown. And I promise I'm going to get off of here. Here's a breakdown of the key aspects of the Army structure. So do you have a breakdown of the key aspects of the structure for your life? And I got to build this, right? There's another gentleman I know, and he got LOPs, a whole thick binder, life operating principles, structure. I don't get to success without structure. Structuring your finances, structuring your thought process, structuring your body, your workout, structure in the food that you eat. How is the food structure that you eat? And is it really food or is it chemicals made up? Can you read the ingredients? Woo! Yes. So LOPs, life operating present. I digress. Here's a breakdown of the key aspects of Army structure. Hierarchical levels. The Army structure is hierarchical, meaning it's organized into levels of command. From the smallest unit, the fire team, to the largest, a field army. I was in charge of a fire team. I've been in charge of a squad. I've been in charge of a platoon. I was not in charge of a company, but I have been acting. Never in charge of a company. Anyhow, I've known a company commander, battalion commander, brigade commander, never known a division, nor a corps, nor a field army commander. But the structure is broken down to the lowest. The fire team, the smallest unit, typically consisting of 4 soldiers led by a corporal or sergeant. Did that as both ranks, a corporal and a sergeant. Squad composed of 2 or more fire teams led by a sergeant or staff sergeant and usually containing 6 to 10 soldiers. Did that as well as a sergeant and a staff sergeant. A platoon made up of 2 or 3 squads, typically led by a lieutenant and containing around 30 soldiers. Did not do that, was not a lieutenant, but was acting platoon sergeant on the NCO side a time or two. Why am I saying all that to you? The larger the group, the larger the task, the more structure you need. So on a fire team, the team leader has a certain set of rules and things to abide by. But then within the squad, there's even more structure from one team to the next. And the squad leader from platoon, there's even more structure and understanding that you have to know. So look. As you grow in your life, as you grow in your marriage some days, grunts, as you grow in your healing some days, you're going to have to raise the level of structure that you put around you to keep being successful. Come on, the higher you go, the more disciplined you have to be. Oh, listen to me. I'm not a sniper. But I've been watching a lot of videos of the Reaper, the Ranger sniper, right? I've been watching a lot of videos. My boy Duplo was a sniper. Thibodeau, sniper. I know some snipers, right? The greater the distance of travel for the round, the further you shooting, I'm sure the more structured and detailed they have to be. With the windage and the elevation, it's a lot different when you picking up Kentucky windage. It's a lot different when you just go get the job and your check come. Yeah, you wouldn't got it, but you still got a structure when they give you the money. It's a lot different when you get home and you don't have the team anymore. You don't have the squad anymore. It's you and your family. It's a lot different. So you got to create a new plan for the structure in your life to lead your family right. I'm not saying you don't got it going on, grunts, but we all have something going on that we can get going to a greater part in our life. Oh man, I was just talking to my buddy today. I'm like, no, you don't hear what I'm saying. The way we speak and what you say is different than what I say. I just believe in the impossible every day. I believe the impossible every day, but I also know this. Without any structure, that impossible will never become possible because you will just be running in place like quicksand. You have to have a plan in order to evolve and move forward. I don't know about you, but what God always say to me, study to show thyself approved. When you was in the army, you had studying you had to do. If you studied for the EIB, you know what that thing was like. You ain't studied for your CIB. You trained for your CIB, but you studied for your EIB. That was a different thing. That took structuring, steps on how to break down the M4, steps on how to break down the M9. You had to structure your mind to follow patterns. But see, sometimes like me, when we get out of that thing where somebody else has got the structuring, then you don't do any planning to build the structure for your life. So you keep running around and you blaming other people about your life. Who you cooking tonight? Thank you, Whiskey Charlie. Whiskey Charlie out doing his anniversary structuring. A beautiful place to be when you structure things in your marriage and you hear how he talk about his family. Man, I please hope y'all tune in next week because this thing gonna get deep. I can already see. I'm gonna hold on to the rest for my boy Whiskey Charlie. What are your thoughts? Just what are your thoughts? How are you structuring your life today? Are you still thinking about the things that you've already grown through? The things that affected you from Iraq to Afghanistan, my partners that went to Egypt too. Maybe your tour with Djibouti to Africa. Maybe you down on the border in Texas. You True Blue, you're infantry. If you did any serving, military. And here's the thing, you ain't even have to be military, but this show is for grunts, by grunts, for grunts. Everybody welcome, but everybody cannot be a member. It's a certain MOS you hold. But from what I'm told and what I understand, structure is needed for every man and woman, child too. Without no structure, it ain't possible to get to the success that's in you. Man, from relationships to careers to shooting weapons, running. The real runners know that there's a certain way to run. There's a structure to everything that's successful. And there's a structure to your chaos too. You just waking up doing whatever you feel like doing that day. And you structured your mind that way to feel like that's okay. baby. %100% watermelon with the seeds. Things that my body structurally, physically need for hydrating, for cleansing. It was things that our body needed when we went to basic training. It was things that we needed to be successfully soldiers. It was things that we needed to see and things that we needed to achieve to truly be true blue. It's things that you need to do in your life to truly be the best version of you. You got to start planning for where you want to go. That's on you. Maybe you're not, I don't know if you're an individual that believe in the higher power, but I do. Call him the great I am, not to be religious, but to be spiritual. That's one thing true about Big Sarge. Now, I may not always display that thing, but lately I've been on that thing. What people don't know is that Psalms 23, that kept me from my first tour of Iraq. That kept me through it for me. It was part of my daily routine to read it. I ain't really had no structure. It wasn't a certain time of day, but I was structured enough to say no matter what happened when I was going on a mission, I would read that because it made me feel the right way. So now I have affirmations that I need to read daily. There's my Bible that I need to read too. There's things that I need to pour into my mind to keep me structured to see the positive, not the negative that I grew through. That's all I'm saying to you, grunts. This structure is real. I'm just the one that have to take the field on this show today, man. The show gonna grow in the way that God wants it to grow because we gonna really do what I was supposed to do. And that's help other individuals who's growing through. But it started with me structuring me before I can help you. It started with me structuring me. I asked Whiskey Charlie to do the show today, and it was a show that God created, and he just gave me a title, and he ain't fell back yet. Well, he have to tell me he was on anniversary. But this was for me. I'm just sharing it with you as we move forward and do what we do. Anything successful is structured. Anything successful has a plan attached to it. Anything successful, the larger it gets, the more structure you put around it. Such as in life. Such as in life. Structure. How does structure look in your life? How does structure look in your life? This has been another amazing episode of Speak Grunt, by grunts for grunts. Everybody welcome. Everybody cannot or will not be remembered. Remember this. In order to get to the success you want, you have to create the plan that you need and follow that thing while making no excuses. Guys willing, see y'all next week, hopefully with my boy Whiskey Charlie. But make sure you start structuring your life today so you can grow into the life you want to live anyway. You don't have to just work until this body give out on you. You get to plan what you do. It's yours. Do something with it. It was your weapon. You did something with it. Maintain your equipment, grunts. Structure your way to success. Peace.